What's up, Schwartz Force? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I have a returning guest, Eric, Rico's Watches podcast, both YouTube channel. So you guys, again, I'm linking everything down below. So please show some support for Eric here. Also, Instagram, you just recently hit over 8K, if I'm not mistaken, followers. So
yes,
dude, beasting it. And thanks for coming back to the channel. So in case you guys are new here, my name is Dave. May the Schwartz be with you. And today is an episode where we're going to be talking watches with Eric, and we're just going to kind of have a organic conversation, right? And see where it goes, which I really like instead of something scripted. This is a little different for my channel, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. And, you know, if you want to contribute, definitely drop some comments down below. But Eric, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't heard of me before, which is probably a lot of people still, I'm Eric. I'm the host of the Rico's Watches podcast. I basically host a weekly to every, maybe 2 episodes a week. I interview guests from the watch community, some high profile, some are just normal collectors. I've had obviously people like yourself on the show.
That should be the highest viewed video. I don't know why it's not, but it'll get there. Don't worry.
You got to hype it more to your people, dude. But, I mean, it's
share that.
Yeah, actually, we'll put the link. We'll get the link in the description box for this one as well too. But yeah, and that's basically what I do. It's been really fun. Just starting to kind of see it starting to snowball. It's already been a couple months, but I mean, like, woke up this morning today and was published in Fratello magazine, which I think is crazy.
Congrats!
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I was not ever thinking that like my name would be in like a major watch publication, so I thought that was really cool. So hopefully things keep going from there. But dude, honestly, like, it's been such a blast. I mean, I remember before I started even the show, and I was just still kind of an idea. Like, I came on your show when I was just a collector, and we talked about it, and like, you encouraged me to do the YouTube, you pushed me to like get started with it and kind of get it rolling. You helped me a ton, like in the early days of getting the stuff set up. So like, right off the hop, man, we got to give you a little
hey, I'm happy to help, bro.
Hey, dude.
People helped me when I was starting out and learning, so it's kind of my way of paying it forward. And someday you will be in those shoes, and hopefully, you'll make the same decision to help out the smaller guys and gals and give them a lift, because that's how it's all win-win for everyone, is the way I see it.
Yeah.
And, I look at it as a cooperation, not a competition. And
exactly.
There you go. Watch fam is the best fam, dude.
Exactly. And we all just want to see more watch stuff, right? So, I mean, realistically, there's no reason why like someone wouldn't want to listen to my show, listen to your show, listen to like Matt from Rock the Watch, like all those kind of guys, or even the really, really big dudes that are still around. Like, people just want to hear more watch stuff. So, I mean, I
something
think we're
for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So what do you got on the wrist today, man?
Oh, no. You're my guest. What do you have on the wrist?
What do I have on the wrist? I'm not used to being asked anymore. It's like, it's so weird to be on the opposite.
Right. And normally you're on this side of the screen, not
exactly. So. I'm on the opposite side of the interview. It's so strange. So I have today on my my Spg Pro.
Okay, right on.
I put it back on the original bracelet. Usually I had it on a Forstner flat link.
Yep.
And this thing won't focus. There we go. Kind of starting to focus. Yeah. I figured that, with the whole Fratello Watches interview going up and then being published, it would only be appropriate to wear my Spg today. So that's what I went for. They're the big Spg Tuesday people. So I figured, you know what? Let's go for it. So,
dude, those flat links are all the craze right now and rage for sure. So I actually have a couple that I'll be reviewing shortly. A 20 mil, a 22 mil, different finishing. So that's coming up in the future in case those people are interested to see it. But let me go ahead and do my wristwatch check. I'm gonna take this bad boy off. So this is the Omega James Bond edition 300 professional Seamaster on titanium bracelet. You haven't seen this yet? So yeah, man, this thing is, I wish this would stop.
Turn off your crappy background then, man. Come on.
No. There we go. All right.
There we go.
This watch is freaking amazing.
When did you go legit? When did you stop
I knew you would
collecting?
you would appreciate the surprise here.
What?
So Mario over at Top Notch Timepieces, I got to plug his brand, his company. He hooked me up with this one to definitely showcase and check out. I'll be doing a review, and the cool thing with this watch is I'm going to be comparing it. So Matt from Rock the Watch, who got this from Chris, is the Heimdacher Titanium Ghost, which is an homage of the Bond Seamaster. But it's like a legitimate homage in the sense of it's titanium, it's done really well. So he's shipping that in, should arrive tomorrow. And then another channel, Ali Homages, he's sending me the cheaper version homage of this. So I'm going to do a comparison of like the different tiers, comparing it to the real deal. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. But
it's wicked.
It's really crazy. So I guess if I can, just to kind of talk a little bit about this watch and and get your opinion too on the faux patina. But I will say the biggest issue I have with this thing is the aluminum bezel. $9,000 and it doesn't have ceramic. Like, that's an issue, at least for me. It looks cool, and I get the reasoning behind it. Omega was like, we want the anodized aluminum dial, we want the anodized aluminum bezel, so it patinas more, patinates over time, because they're doing the faux patina right off the bat. But what's your thoughts on faux patina? Tell me a little bit about that first.
You know, it doesn't bother me. I think that, you know, I look at it less as like a faux patina type thing, as much as it's just a different color of patina, right?
It just said brown.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, like, you got like green patina, or sorry, green loom. You got like yellow loom. You got white loom. You got blue loom. It's just another color, and yeah, it does make it look like a little bit older or whatever. I think if it's done right, it looks great. Like, I personally think like the faux patina on that watch looks fantastic, because it matches the like the more rustic kind of colors that are on that watch.
Right.
You know, like Panerai did a bunch of their dials with like a faux patina. It looks awesome. I think it looks great with like the matte finishing on the dials and kind of that older aesthetic that they go to with the more classic styling from the 50s. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I think people need to just, like, you know, if you don't like it, don't buy one with patina or faux patina on it, right? I think that watch is phenomenal. And I mean, I just love like kind of like the story behind that piece. And then so that is like the No Time to Die one. That's like,
it is.
Yeah, like that one's beautiful, right? Like, I love that like Daniel Craig had a piece in designing it. Daniel Craig himself is a watch guy. He's a Rolex guy. So you definitely see some nods to some Rolex, like the mill stub Rolexes and things like that in that watch. I think the aluminum bezel insert isn't a big deal. Like, I think that's super cool. I think, yeah, it'll patinate over time. It'll get a little beat up. I think that also, like, it kind of lends back to it being like a tough, like, military issued watch, not necessarily some fancy, you know, highfalutin piece that some guy's gonna wear on Wall Street. Like, it's made to take a beating, and that's, you know, and it's all matte finished. Like, it's actually a really well thought out piece.
It is, for sure.
And I think they did an awesome job.
Dude, I'm blown away. I love that they also didn't they put the kind of nod to, you know, the Ministry of Defense with the little arrow logo on the dial, but they didn't
I think it's called the crow's foot or something like that. Is that what it is?
Yeah. But they didn't like throw like a 007, you know, like some of the others. And I know some people have issue with that, but I like that it's more of like, if you know, you know, kind of thing.
Well, that little Ministry of Defense thing, like, so being in Canada, we're part of the British Commonwealth as well, right? So actually that was a symbol that appeared on basically everything that was under the British Commonwealth. I want to say up until like the 60s, because I know like there's a bunch of old Canadian gear that you can get from World War II, like surplus stuff, and it all has the same marking on it and everything. So it's just kind of like an indication of the British Crown, right?
Yeah, right.
Kind of cool. So yeah, dude, it was a neat idea.
And I know I'll say all this in the full review, but like, dude, the bracelet is the best Milanese mesh bracelet I have ever held.
They killed it.
It's crazy, man. So definitely look forward to you guys. And depending when I put this video out, the review might already be available as well. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for that, bro. last week I had the Grand Seiko Spg 317, which opened my eyes and set the bar to finishing quality, that Zaratsu polish. There's just, dude, now I'm screwed because I can't go back. It's like everything in life, once you've had the luxurious version of it, there's no settling for less.
You're gonna have to start moving into like the luxury content on your channel. Hey, no more homages and things like that.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm still gonna do all of it, like, because my subscribers, the loyal subscribers and the ones that joined initially, like that's what they joined for. So I don't want to just cut them off. And, you know, I think it's cool to kind of sprinkle a little bit of everything and to have, especially homages being so popular, to have the real deals and look at them side by side will kind of show people how close is this really. And yeah, you're not spending, it's not like you're spending like $9,000 and getting 9,000 times better of a watch, but there's like a point in which like, okay, this is a good little homage piece, you know, it'll scratch the itch. And yeah, some of the differences that it can't do that the real deal can. So
yeah, dude, nice. Absolutely. I think you're killing it. I love your stuff. I try and watch as many of your videos as I can.
It's tough, man. I put out so much, so no hard feelings, bro.
Honestly, it's like what people don't get is it's like once you do this all the time, like once you're constantly making like videos and you're making like podcasts in my case and videos, it's like I hate seeing myself and hearing my own voice now, right? I'm like, I don't even watch it anymore. Like I'll do it during the editing process to make sure it doesn't suck or there's any issues or anything like that. But then after that, I'm like, I'm not watching it. And my wife doesn't even care anymore. She's like, I'm sure it's fine, you know. And like unless I'm like, hey, it's a really, really good one. Like there's been a couple that I've gone back and really enjoyed. And like I went back, like I did my interview with Davide Serrato. So people who may not know who that is, that's like the granddaddy of modern Tudor. He's the guy who reinvented basically Tudor and came out with all the models that we love now, like the Black Bay, the Pelagos, the Chronos, all that stuff, right? And then he also went on to Mont Blanc and kind of revitalized them as well too. Used to work at Panerai. Super cool dude, right? And it was just a really cool interview. Like there's this part of it where like I'm actually wearing my Pelagos and I'm talking to him about the Pelagos, and I'm like, tell me about what that was like. And to like listen to the man who designed the watch that you're wearing on your wrist at that time was such a surreal moment. It was unbelievable. Awesome. It was super cool.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. And I will say, so being that you own your Tudor, your Pelagos, I have pulled the trigger, and I have Mario, the guy that I'm working with. He is, I guess, procuring is the term we'll use. He's finding a full set Tudor Black Bay 41. So that's gonna happen soon. Hopefully, hopefully within a couple weeks. I'm hoping.
I thought you wanted the Ranger, or not the? It wasn't the Ranger, the 36.
So I had always had my eye on the. I hadn't decided between the Black Bay 36 or the 41, but with my wrist size, 41's a way to go. I can pull off big watches, and I love just the kind of feel and the taller lug to lug height on it is going to be perfect. I didn't want to go the blue route. I wanted to go the black. It's kind of like, for me, I don't need the Rolex Explorer. Like the Tudor Black Bay does it for me with the, you know, smooth bezel, all of that. It ticks the boxes. And I think for a first luxury piece, like in the collection, that's the one.
I think you're gonna be really happy. Like I honestly think that Tudor is just killing it, and I think that they bring a ton of value right now to the product they're putting out. You know, I love my Pelagos, and I still think it's one of the best divers or tool divers you can buy for the money right now on the market. And I think that as Rolex continues to move up market, and you know, people start to kind of see that like there's kind of the competition going on with like Omega and Tudor, and Omega doesn't want to say there's a competition with Tudor because they're kind of Omega is really trying to move out of the price point they're at now. But they're still, like, especially with the gray market the way it is, like they're still competing with each other pretty steady. And I honestly, like, Tudor's killing it, and certain Tudor models that they make, like the really modern inspired ones, like the North Flag, the Pelagos, probably the new Chronos. I haven't had a chance to handle one. the quality on them is unbelievable, and they're just like, they just feel good. They're just cool watches, and they honestly, it feels like you're strapping on a serious tool onto your wrist. And I think that's something that is really appealing, and I think they're totally doing a good job. Yeah,
absolutely, man. It's you know, the cat's out of the bag, I guess, so to speak, everyone, because you can actually go and get them. I think that's a big part of it too. You're not on some wait list. You're not having to, you know, beat around like looking for them and paying over retail. Like you can just go and pick one up, and I'm sure there's exceptions, obviously, some of the models, but for the most part, like I think that's a very it's a very cool just feature compared to Rolex. So I'm excited, man. I'm stoked. I can't wait. And then obviously that's the first. I'm saving the Blancpain 50 Fathoms for the 10-year wedding anniversary. So yeah, that's but I'm thinking, okay, so I started selling off, and I'll you know, my channel has seen my state of the collection video. I don't know if you got to watch it. It's pretty long, but basically I'm selling off a large chunk of my watches. So I'm kind of in this phase of my journey now where I loved them. They're great values, but like I'm ready to move up. Like, so it's crazy.
There's something to be said for when you start consolidating and you realize like what you can get with all these pieces that you have. And I've been tempted too, man. Like I have two kind of boxes set up. Like I have my main watch roll that I kind of keep like my nice pieces in.
Sure.
And then I have my watch box that I kind of have like my more everyday pieces in, and the ones that are in like I wouldn't say everyday pieces, but the more like, I guess, regular pieces in. So like my digital watches and like Seiko 5s and things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't really think I would ever really sell anything from in the watch box, just because like, you know, who wants to wear like my ratty 10-year-old G-Shock that I've like beaten up and crap like that, you know. But when I look in the watch roll and I see what's in here, and I'm like, man, like, you know, this is like a brand new sub. This is like, you know, if I kind of got rid of everything, you know, but I don't really want to. Like I like having a little bit of variation. I like having like a really tight core collection with only 4 pieces or 5 pieces in it. So we'll kind of see where that goes. I know for me, like I'm still kind of flip-flopping on what I want to get next. I'm actually really tempted by the new Explorer 2. I don't really care for the white version, which I know is very contrary to what most people want. Everyone wants the white version. I really like the black version.
Okay.
I got some, now this, I've been doing this a while, I have some buddies that, you know, are able to procure one for me at retail, which is a really
sweet,
unique and cool position to be in.
Yeah, man.
The only thing with that, of course, is you know, I don't have the money right now to do that.
That's always the
That being said, what I will say,
are
you a big like cryptocurrency guy at all?
I'm not, man. I just don't have the time. Like,
bro,
I know,
bro. If I had Dogecoin, that's the big thing right now. They're saying Tuesday Dogecoin is going to go up to $1, and right now it's like 30 cents or something like that or whatever. If I had invested in Dogecoin, would I invested in it now? Because I just invested in it this week, right? If I had invested, if I had jumped in a year ago, I would have $18 million today.
Dang.
Isn't that insane?
Is
that insane? So I'm hoping at least I can get in and make a little bit of money. But you know,
dang,
it's unreal. I mean, I would be buying you, me, everyone watches right now. Right? If I made
like, you get a watch, here you go. Well, I think that's always dude, I've had so many if I had moments in life. I just like don't even like, we'll just move on. But that's awesome. I should start looking into it. So I mean, yeah, why not, right?
Check it out, man.
Spend some time on it and put.
If you got some fun money, it's fun, right? It's fun to see where it goes. It's so volatile, so it's kind of fun that, like, you know, like 1 hour you could lose $500 and then the next hour you can make 5,000. Like it's kind of crazy that way. But
yeah, the swings are nuts. Exactly. That's what I've heard. Yeah, dude. Well, man, I'll definitely, I don't know, I'll keep an eye out, but I think you're right. Like getting the the money, like you have access to obviously the problem a lot of other people have, which is they may have the money but they can't get the watch. And then you're like, I can get the watch, but I got to get the money.
Exactly.
I think what you were explaining about selling off some of your collection, especially some of your core pieces, I think where it makes more sense with the type of pieces you have is when you have overlap. And I know you don't in your personal collection, but I think like of some people that have 5 or 6 dive watches that are all, you know, over 3 to 10 grand each or whatever, like, yeah, I think it would be easier to consolidate that portion of the collection and buy a grail piece instead of like selling your dress watch and your sports watch and your tool watch to try and buy just one that is not all 3 of those, right? So I kind of get that.
I think it like depends on a couple things. Like, you know, like I actually really like dive watches. That's kind of like one of my favorite kind of styles of watches, but I appreciate like variation in design. So another example being like, that's kind of why I like Panerais. Like there's nothing else out there that's like a Panerai.
Right.
Whether that's good or bad, depending on what your opinion is of them. But like, honestly, like there's nothing out there that's quite like them. Like, so I mean, if I had my Pelagos, which is a 500 meter dive watch, and then I had my Panerai, which would be like a 300 meter dive watch, they're just so different.
Yeah.
Right. So I would be hard pressed to figure out which one I would part with, because they're so different. But yeah, if you're a guy who has like a Pelagos and a Submariner and a Seamaster and a Blancpain, and it's like, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well they're basically all, you know, black dialed dive watches. It's like, okay, maybe that's an easier decision to make.
Yeah.
For some people, for other people, like there's enough variation between all those as well that maybe it's too difficult to make, right? But
it could be, yeah.
And sometimes you just enjoy stuff, right? Like one of my favorite pieces, in my collection is literally like this Brew Retromatic, right? Which, I mean, I'm literally wearing a Brew Retromatic t-shirt I got from John.
Man.
Shout out to John Ferrar, the owner of
hey John, put in a good word for me. I want a shirt. I'll
John,
rep one
John's
of those.
awesome. Honestly, man, you should just hit him up, just start chatting with him. He's super good. He's a really nice, he's like one of the nicest guys in the watch industry. He's super connected to the community. He really loves like the Brew family, like the people who are pushing his stuff, buying his stuff. You know, my wife, who has her own Instagram account now too, at Rico's Wifey, she has her own too. She loved this one so much we were able to get a burgundy one.
I saw that, yeah, man. And it's real nice.
And John actually gave that to her out of his personal stash that he has, because you can't buy the burgundy ones right now.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
He hasn't done another run of them.
Freaking awesome. I've ran into John on Clubhouse and chatted with him and listened to him chat, and really down to earth dude, man. I just need to I guess reach out and chat with him personally and see. Makes great stuff, man. And I've done like a little teaser video on my channel with the Brew, but I haven't done the full review, so I need to get that content finished. So
there's something like super unique about their pieces. That's what I haven't quite put my finger on it yet, but I know it's like, you know, they're like $300-$400 pieces, but they feel like they're so much more expensive and they're so well thought out. Like
it's the design.
It's got to be, exactly.
It's one of those, like, I can give you an example of this, and I think I've been doing this long enough with my channel where I see new Kickstarter campaigns or microbrands come out with a watch, and I can tell immediately 9 times out of 10, like, it's different, but it's not unique. And what John does with Brew is the design is very unique in its own. If you see that watch, like if you're a watch person, you're either going to know it's a Brew watch or you're going to know it's something else you've never seen before. Like it's really cool, man.
Well, and he's got like a ton of like family history in designing watches as well too. Like his dad still does work for Tiffany's designing jewelry. His grandfather designed watches for Cartier, right? Like he's got, and I think that maybe the Cartier side of it is maybe where you see a little bit of kind of some of the inspiration with the square cases and things like that. And even the bracelet kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Santos kind of. So like there's some really cool, it's just a cool watch, man. He just does a good job. And it's cool to support like a good dude as well too, right? He's just a good dude.
Me personally, like I like an American-made company as well. Like yeah, I love to back that, just from you see so many of these other countries based out of other places in the world, and then you have one right in your home country. It's cool. So.
Have you heard of a brand called Arkin Watches? They're in a country called England, which I'm sure you've heard of before. Yes,
yeah, rings a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard of the brand though.
Yeah, the brand is super cool. They're I think going to launch here in the next month or two.
Okay.
The owner, Ken Lamb, he's just doing it kind of the same way John is. He's just a one-man show.
Okay.
But he designed these incredible watches. There's one called the first one's called the Instrumentum, and it's like a modern dive piece. It's it kind of, from what I've seen, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Zinn or Cobalt watches, if you remember those from back in the day.
Right.
So they have a very modern industrial aesthetic to them.
Okay.
But like they're well sized, good materials. The first watch is full titanium.
Nice, right
so
on.
that's a really cool kind of thing. And he just didn't cut, like he's one of those guys like John where he's not cutting any corners.
Is he doing automatic or chronograph or what?
Automatic. So the first piece is an automatic three-hander. I believe it's going to be a Miyota to start with.
Cool. Yeah.
And then the next piece, he's assuming the first piece goes well, we've discussed is he wants to do a Swiss GMT variant as well, and that'll be really cool. And I still desperately need a GMT. So I'm super stoked about that.
Personal skin in that game for sure. GMT is it's like GMT and a minute repeater. Some complications I'd love to have in the collection.
There you go.
So yeah.
Well, head over to, if he's on Instagram, it's under Arkin Watch Co. I think is what it is. How do you spell it? ARKEN.
ARKEN. Okay.
Yeah, Arkin Watch Co. And he's just got some cool little like render shots right now of like cases and things like that, and a couple little kind of like nature shots. He's kind of still in the teasing phase. Okay. But I think in the next month or so, you're going to start to see a lot more activity kick off on the brand and on the page, and it's going to be really exciting.
I'll keep an eye out, man.
Yeah, man, it's a brand that, like, honestly, I really am interested in. It's like good people doing good things, making unique designs. Like it's not just like a catalog piece that someone looked at a catalog and picked
that looks nice.
5 pieces.
That's
exactly.
Good. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you see that often, man. I hate to pull from people's, like, I get it that like they're taking a step and building something, even though it's not completely original. Like they're still doing the work behind it and taking that risk. But I definitely think there's something there too when you have a unique piece and design. It's so much more, I guess, just special. I don't know. About
it kind of leads me into, I don't know if we want to. When is this going to be up? When are you going to throw this up?
I'm hoping next week. So I'm thinking like the 23rd or whatever that is.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to start teasing it. I'm going to give you a little teaser then. So, I mean, obviously about the project I've been working on with the PD Watch Group, right?
Yep.
You've seen a couple of like the shots of the prototype. The production version is going to be a little bit different. Okay. We're just waiting on the final dial to be sent over so we can assemble the press piece that we're going to send to you.
Sweet.
To do your review on.
Spoiler.
Yeah, but you've seen. Well, that's okay.
No. It's cool. This is good. This is good to hype it up.
But I'll kind of give it before I show the prototype off on the camera here and kind of give everyone the little exclusive. I'm just going to say, like, this is a really cool piece. I know we just kind of talked about like kind of, taking like catalog stuff and kind of putting it together. We really tried to do our own spin. So we did a tactical search and rescue piece that is